6 o'clock, so we will go ahead and get started. First off, welcome to the Student Ambassador Informational Panel. We have 4 of our amazing student ambassadors here to answer any questions and to share their stories about being a student ambassador. My name is Miriam Casper. I am a senior from West Bend, Wisconsin, majoring in education with an emphasis in early childhood. I am one of the co-directors of the Student Ambassador Program. So a little overview of what tonight's going to look like. My co-Erica and I will be kind of moderating and throwing in some questions here and there in case you guys don't have any right off the bat. We will also be starting off with a small PowerPoint, just kind of going over important dates, as well as some important information about the application and hiring process. So I'm going to let Erica go ahead and introduce herself and we will jump right in.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica Kennard. I am a junior studying business administration and communication, and I'm originally from Menominee, Wisconsin.
Give me 1 second, I'm having technical difficulties. I apologize. Okay, can you all see the screen? Good, okay. Then Erica, you can go ahead and start off.
Awesome. So, who exactly are the student ambassadors? So, student ambassadors are students who are actively involved in campus life at UW Green Bay and who can communicate those experiences to prospective or new students. Our primary job is to help students connect with each other and to create lasting memories. We take pride in assisting students through the transition of high school to college by making the experience as enjoyable and smooth as possible.
So a little bit more about what we do is we work collaboratively with admissions for tours and with Focus, which is now new student programs for GB orientation as well as GB welcome. Some other programs that we work throughout the year is scholarship dinners, major fairs, campus preview days, admitted student days, open houses, Ash the Stacks every once in a while, chancellor's events, alumni association events, and commencements.
So there's a couple different requirements of being a student ambassador. You must have at least 1 semester of full-time enrollment at UW Green Bay. You must have a cumulative GPA of higher than 2.5 or 2 consecutive semesters of 2.5. You must have an excellent interpersonal and communication skills, verbal and nonverbal. You must have strong decision-making skills and judgment, a record of co-curricular participation and campus involvement, and you must have enthusiasm, a positive attitude, and a willingness to learn. Those are all really important in being a successful student ambassador.
So a little bit about the timeline for this year's hiring process. So applications opened today, December 8th. So you can go onto our website or follow any links that have been sent to you to access that application. Those applications are then due February 3rd at 11:59 p.m. and interviews will follow February 15th through the 18th. Hiring decisions will be made in early March, and that is when your training will begin. And then you will be part of your first all-team meeting in April. All right, so that is all we have for the PowerPoint. Now we are going to let our amazing panelists introduce themselves and we can hop right into questions. You can either unmute to ask your question or utilize the chat to type your question. We will make sure that we ask it to our panelists. All right.
I can go first. So my name is Taylor Schreiber. I'm a junior here at UW Green Bay studying education. I am from Two Rivers, Wisconsin, and I do just want to say, Kenny, he was in my orientation group, and I see he is on this call. And literally, like, he was having a conversation with another student, and I thought it was just an ambassador talking to somebody, but I turned around and it was just Kenny. So he's already an ambassador. And Savannah even messaged me, the other girl in this call, tell me she's gonna be here too. So thank you guys for coming and everyone else for coming. But yeah.
I'll go. So my name is Faith Click. I am a senior student ambassador who will be literally gone in like 2 weeks. I'm a double major in musical theater and English literature, and I'm originally from the tiny town of Wild Rose, Wisconsin. Also, hi, Destiny.
Alrighty, we'll kick off on third place here. So hello, my name is Andy Weigel. I'm currently a junior studying mechanical engineering and originally from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Welcome to all the new kids on the block.
Hi everyone, I'm Yer and I'm a junior in the elementary education. I actually transferred from NWTC, in which I am originally from Green Bay, so been here for all my life. This is actually my first year as a student ambassador, but I was a student ambassador also at NWTC, so it was a great opportunity for me to see two different student ambassador programs. Yeah, I just want to welcome all you guys to UWGB.
All right, so now we want to open the floor to you guys. Ask any questions that you'd like. All right, we'll start with a question. So if you guys think of any, ask right away after. So the first question we'll ask is, oh, Destiny. Okay. What is the best way to set yourself apart in interviews?
All right, we'll take. Oh, Faith, you looked like you were gonna say something.
No, and
If you want to go for it.
you got it.
Okay. All right. So the best way to set yourself apart from the herd would be in the interview process, there's two different areas. There's one where you do kind of a vocal function, and then there's one where you have a sit down one-on-one interview with another person. But the best way to kind of stand out is to be exuberant and be kind of flashy, if you will, with the interview. You know, kind of make yourself pop instead of, and like have a certain type of energy to yourself where you're excited, but you can also hold control and spew it all sorts of information out at one time.
Yeah, to go off what Andy was saying, there's two parts to your interview. If you're around other people, get to know people. Being an ambassador means that we are social creatures, right? So, say hi. People love when you say hi. They love when you pay attention to them. So get to know other people. And then when you're in your one-on-one interview, just be yourself. Be, who you are is awesome. So be confident in that. Be yourself. You can show yourself off a little bit. It's okay. Obviously you're in an interview. We want you to talk about yourself. So nobody's going to be mad if you do. Just make sure that you're concise, because you do have a short amount of time. And we want to make sure that we can hear everything that you have to say. We can get through all of our questions. We want to make sure that you can show off every angle of yourself, not just, answer 2 questions and then you're done, because there's so much more we want to know about you.
All right, next question. Do you get nervous meeting your freshman group for the first time?
I'll just talk about this one. I definitely say yes. Especially even as like an education major, like just studying, it's not the same concept because obviously we're like the same age, but it's almost more scary that way because I feel like I'm supposed to be like a role model to you guys and show you, but I definitely was nervous. I was nervous, Kenny, don't get me wrong, when I met you guys. But the best way I think is just like, okay, this is like what I want to do. I'm here to do this. I'm so excited about you guys coming here that that just takes away from the nerves. So I do get super nervous. Just trying to teach you guys and show you guys everything in the couple days we have together. So, but the excitement just overcomes everything. And then you guys are there and it's like, well, this is happening. And I think those nerves just go away because you guys are just awesome. So, yeah.
All right. Are you all involved in other activities as well? If so, what are they?
Yeah, so I'm actually involved with two other organizations besides the Student Ambassador. So one of them is the Student Government organization. So I'm actually in the Equity and Diversity committee team on that. And then I'm also one of the executive board members for our SASU, which is the Southeast Asian Student Union in the MISA office.
Yes, I'm also, I think part of being a student ambassador as well is like we all like to get involved. So we probably all definitely have a lot on our plates for sure. I think the main ones that I do right now is I'm involved in alternate theater, which is the theater. If you want to think of it like your theater club at your high school, it's like that, but like 20 times like more exciting. Yeah, it's a big theater club and we're a cult. Not really, but theater is a cult. So, and then I have another job here on campus. I am the office assistant to the chair of the theater department too.
Yeah, I also want to add with Faith that that yes, a lot of our student ambassadors do get involved with a lot of extracurricular activities besides student ambassador because that also help us get to know more about the college and to build more network with other students besides just the student ambassador program.
All right, we'll throw it into the ring here. So I'm a part of 3 different clubs, 2 holding executive board positions, and then 1 just a member. But to kind of go off of Faith and you're over here, as an ambassador, you know, you're involved, or at least trying to be involved in all sorts of different stuff, and then you just want to dive deeper into the belly of the beast.
All right, we can throw in a question here. How did you guys get involved in the ambassador program, or why did you want to be a student ambassador?
I actually have a really good story for this. I don't think I've told anyone this, but I used to my freshman year I worked at the Phoenix Club and the ambassador team was having their holiday party in the OSL and like I was so jealous. Everyone was bringing in all their like white elephant presents and all their like food and it just looked like such a good time. I was like, I want to do that so bad. Like I want to be a part of that. Like they just look like a family and like they're having so much fun and they're so close and just to have that like instant friend group, like it's a job but it's also just a big group of friends that you have. I wanted that so bad. So I went for it and I got it. So that's why I'm on the team now. Fun story.
Yeah, so for me, as I had mentioned earlier, when I transferred from NUTC, I was already an ambassador over there too, or actually was when I started there. I was not even aware of what a student ambassador program was. I applied to the program without really not knowing what I applied for. Once I started being a student ambassador there, I realized how much the job, well, like how much fun the job was, and once I graduated from NUTC, I'm like going to, I went, so now I went to UWGB's info table and I'm like, I need to know where is the student ambassador program? Where's the student life office? I want to be a student ambassador there. And I remember talking to two of our student ambassador about it, and they're like, yeah, so this is where you can go. And I like share them with like what my experience were, and I told them like, yeah, I just love being a student ambassador and working in student life so much because of just so much fun opportunities we get to do around the campus. We don't just do tours, we help out with events. It's just a ton of stuff, and we do get together activities too. So it's really fun, regardless, regardless of what campus I was a student ambassador of. Our roles are still so similar to each other that I'm like, I still want to be a student ambassador wherever I go.
So my story is a little non-traditional when it comes to joining the ambassador team, and I think it's just like a testament to like if you work hard enough, you'll get your dreams. I think anyway. That's my mantra. When I went to like music camp here for the longest time, like for forever. So I've literally been on this campus since I was 13, so I'm a dinosaur. And I took a tour. I'm like, I'm not gonna go to school here. Like, this is camp. Absolutely not. And then I was taking a tour. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. When I go to college, I want to do that job. I want to give people tours so that I can talk all the time. And then I realized that like going through other college tours, I was like, no, I'm going to GB. No, that's home. I'm going to GB. I'm gonna live there all year round, and it'll be like camp all the time. And it is. It's like camp all the time. I applied, and then I didn't hear anything, and then I was like, oh no, like what? my dream. And I was like, I actually really love this place. I'm really passionate about it. It's not like if I would have gone to another university. Like I was like, oh no. And 2 weeks before orientation was supposed to happen, or GB Welcome Now was supposed to happen my sophomore year, I get a call from Steph Caponia, who was our professional staff coordinator, like Adam is now. And she's like, hey, is this Faith? I was like, yeah. And I don't know who Steph is at the time. And she's like, hey, so we were going through stuff and we saw that you were a summer tour guide and we need a student ambassador to do orientation. Do you want to do it? And I was like, yeah. I want to do it. So I showed up and everybody knew everybody. And I was just like the black sheep of the family. And I'm like, hi, everybody. You didn't know me because I did training with you, but my name is Faith. I'm randomly here. And literally by the end of the 3 days, I knew everybody's name and they were all like having super good conversations with me. And it was one of the best decisions I made in my college career, even if it wasn't exactly what you expected to be.
Well, I guess we'll give the old Andy story. So, how this kind of all started for me was, my next door neighbor in my freshman residence hall was an ambassador, and so we kept in touch a little bit, and found out all the things that they do. So it's like, all right, that sounds kind of neat. Sure, we'll give it a shot. So then gave it a shot, and made it through the interview and made it through everything else. And then that's kind of where we are today.
What is it like to work orientation and welcome?
I think it was actually a fun opportunity, for me, just because this year is a little bit different. So when we did training, we couldn't really do in-person training. But once we did the welcome or orientation in person, it was nice to just see everybody, and get to actually meet everybody physically. And I remember I was kind of nervous just because I didn't know anyone from the group wise that well yet. But then once like I talked to everybody, everybody's just like so welcoming, like Faith has said, everybody just talked to me and just made me feel so welcome. And then from there, whatever question I had, I knew I can go ask them. And like I said, it was a very fun experience for me just because I get to also share my story with, new students and also show them our cool campus.
Welcome and orientation are a wild ride. we Miriam and Erica and Adam plan literally all year for these events. And we work like all day, every day. I'm talking like more than 40 hours in 3 days. Like we work a lot. But it's so worth it. We've all got like designer bags under our eyes by the end of the week. And but we're so much like, it's the most exciting, I think. And some other ambassadors may agree. I think it's the most exciting time of the year for ambassadors. We really get to bond as a group. We get to all hang out and make our little A-team family even stronger than it is. We all get to know each other, but at the same time, we're doing event after event after event after event and getting to know you guys and trying to create like this perfect first week for you so that you have all this excitement about college as we do, so that you just get it and you're like, oh, college is amazing. I love it here, just like the rest of us. I don't drink coffee, but if I did, I'd probably have like 4 shots of espresso a day. But it's so worth it. I would be on the caffeine high all day long because it's so fun. It's a lot of work, but it's so fun.
To go off that, Faith, the only phrase I could say is rest is a weapon, It, like she said, is like nonstop, and I can't even think of another experience that's like comparable to it. Like that's just how insane it is in my head. But it honestly, it doesn't feel like you're working at all. I don't know if anybody else has the same experience, but I'm like, oh yeah, I get to like go hang out with some cool people all day long and like just have fun and just constantly be doing something. And it's almost like Christmas. Like I love Christmas, but this is just like a second Christmas, and it's really exciting because you get to move in early if you live on campus, because we're going to be here for you guys to move in. So we move in like earlier than like my roommates would. I moved in before them, so you get all excited, you're packing, you're moving in early, and you're just here to welcome the class. And it's just like the second best time of the year after Christmas, of course. But yeah, definitely a fun time.
Okay, what are some qualities that make a good ambassador?
this might be out of my league to answer, but qualities that are looked for in an ambassador. You know, you want to be friendly. You're working with incoming freshmen, incoming new students, transfer students, people from all over the board. So you want to be friendly, you want to be personable. And basically, you want to make that, hey, we want you to come here connection. And that's really kind of, well, a thing that you want personality wise being an ambassador. But then also another good quality is bending over backwards for whoever. You know, we give tours, and I'm assuming that everyone on this call has had some sort of job experience related to whatever, and there's always some sort of scheduling conflict that happens, and sometimes you gotta go with the flow, if you will. So that also is another thing. But basically, you know, you want to be flexible, but you also want to be friendly and personable to the outside public.
And I think also, just to go off of that, you definitely have to be, I don't want to say outgoing, but personable and outgoing. But don't get me wrong, like I'm a very like shy person, but then when it's like, it's almost you put like your ambassador hat on and it's just like a whole new you. Like I've never even had this personality before until I became an ambassador. It's like, oh, okay, it's time. Like I'm still myself. I'm my genuine self, but it's just like a different version. I don't know how to explain it without sounding fake, but no, it's just like you're just so much more like, and I think having that passion for the university, it's so easy to transition into like, oh my God, I get to like talk about everything I love about this school and I get to do all of this. And I wouldn't sit here and like tell my roommates like, oh my God, do you know about like this and this and this? But having the opportunity to tell like prospective students on a tour or incoming freshmen about all the things that you love about the university, you don't have the opportunity to talk to anyone else about. So just having that genuine interest and passion for the school just gives you like an automatic outgoing personality. So I think that's pretty awesome. So definitely one quality is just loving where you go to school. And as a student, you pretty much already have that. So you would all make great ambassadors then.
To kind of go off what both Andy and Taylor were saying, you have to be genuine. Like you have, you know, you have to be able to really let your like inner light shine, let out your personality, be who you are, because that's going to draw people in. It's going to make you look more personable, more friendly, both as Andy and Taylor have said. You have to be brave too. Maybe that's a word rather than outgoing, is brave, because we do a lot of silly stuff. Like, be honest, when you when you were at welcome or you were at orientation, how many times did you look at your ambassador, or not maybe your ambassador, but an ambassador, and go, that's embarrassing, I don't know if I could do that? Like, you have to be brave and let go, like let go of any control you have, let go of your fear of looking dumb, because honestly, like, that's part of the job, is like is letting go and just being silly. You have to not be afraid. And also, when you're on tours, you have to be brave and be outgoing and genuine, let that light shine, because yes, you want to bring students in, because once they're here, then you know that's really when the caretaking happens. But part of your job, to be a tour guide, is you're kind of selling the university in a way. You know, you're going, look at this amazing thing that we have, you should be here, you should be a part of it. You kind of got to be like that brave salesman and put all your cards on the table, let it go. But and then you need to care too, and that's part of being genuine. And Taylor already said that. Obviously, none of you would be here at this meeting if you didn't care, and if you didn't love this place, and if you didn't have a connection to UW Green Bay. So you're all basically halfway there already.
Yeah, I just also want to add that, and always, have a positive mindset. Not everything is gonna go as planned, but just think positive of, the outcome of it, like, just the things that you do with a task that we may ask you to do may not outside fun. It may not be what you want to do or expect to be doing, but you have to think about that how much help you are already offering that person. And that help does make that person stay a lot better because just one small help can really go a long way. So just really having the positive mindset of thinking like, even just example, folding socks to put it away, just an example. That may not be your typical kind of task, what you would be expecting as a student ambassador. But, you think again, how much it helped that person already, because what if they already have, a million tasks on their plate, and with you helping one small task already help that person a lot.
What is your favorite part about being a student ambassador?
So for me, my favorite part about being a student ambassador is definitely sharing my experience and story to, other students and to future students, just to let you know that, let them know that, um, you know, that we're always going to have a positive experience, and allowing me to share my experience with them will also let them see that, our I just lost what I say. I'm sorry. But anyways, just what I'm trying to say is that sharing, be able to share my story will allow other students to see that there's many more positive experience out there that can happen than rather than negative. And um, together, the college, we're always, working together to as a team to provide the best we can for our students.
I think my favorite part about being a student ambassador is just that even looking back at my experiences as like an incoming freshman or just a prospective student touring UW Green Bay, I can still like almost in full detail remember these experiences. They're such like pivotal and significant pieces of this person's career and life. And I think being a part of that is so awesome, and just trying to make it as best as you can for them, make it the best experience for them is just such a cool part to play a big role in that, because I can still remember like Miriam's sister was my tour guide and just how excited she was about the school, and just being a part of that for someone, being that person for someone is just so cool, and like I can't even explain any other feeling that's like it. So I think that's my favorite part, is just having that influence in someone's decisions in life and career, and just their time here at UWGB is really awesome.
I think my favorite part would actually have to be tours. Like I know I said earlier that welcome is like the most exciting time, but because it is. Don't get me wrong, I love welcome, but I love with tours that I get to see like the first sprout of a student when you're all like just starting your college journey, and it's like which one do I pick, where do I go, what do I do, give me all the answer. You're like little sponges, and I love that. I love that I get to show off this place that I fell in love with as an awkward 13-year-old. Be like, look at my home, it's so cute, it's so precious and little, and I just I love it. Because I really think this place is a hidden gem in so many ways, and people need to know about it. It's amazing. UW Green Bay is amazing. And I love watching, like I just did a tour today, and she was amazing. This one girl was so cute. And the more I told her like about GB, her eyes got bigger and bigger and bigger, and she's at the end of the tour, she goes, oh, I was like, thank you so much for joining me. She goes, thank you. I was like, and it just, my heart burst into a million pieces, because I knew that I I made her excited about going to school, and I made her excited about college. And it's like, it's the first little moment for you guys. And it's so cute. I love it.
Darn it, Faith, you took my tour thing here. But I enjoy giving out tours for the same, but also very different reasons. You know, again, to kind of go off of Faith, it's the start of high schoolers' college search. It's a very overwhelming time. And it kind of puts you back into their shoes where you were however many years ago at this point. For me, it was 4 years, 3 years ago now, 4 years ago now. So that was a long time ago. But, you know, but then you get to give out information of everything that you like about the university, you know, all the pros. There are a few cons, but that's with everything, you know, like parking passes. Who wants to pay for parking? But then you look at the benefits of that, and yeah, you know, you go to UWM, it's $100 for a month for parking in the city, while here it's 70 some a semester. But that's kind of beside the point. You know, you tell them about the GB community, which especially in the ambassador role, you find even more so because you have that community of people with you starting out, and then you branch it off into everything else. And that's what makes it special, is you get to go out and say, hey, this is what's great about here. This is why Green Bay is fantastic, and this is why you should come here instead of going somewhere else. And then at the end of the day, you know, you're like, hey, we're here for you. And there are a lot of other schools that don't have that. And to know that you make an impact on someone else's college choice or incoming college experience is a very special thing.
All right, I kind of have a two-part question for you guys. So how often do you work, and can you hold another job with this position?
So besides like welcome and orientation, because those are such big chunks of time, and then we literally just dedicate ourselves to those days. But in like the normal semester, as the semester goes on, we have, I think it's every 3 weeks, we have a daily tour. There's tours in the morning and afternoon. So you would have, like right now, I have every third Thursday I have a tour at 9:30, and that's like the minimum amount that I'm working. And then like tonight I was sent like a request like, hey, we need ambassadors for this event. Are you available? And I said yes, because I would love to work this event. And then I am able to work this one. So you do have that minimum requirement, but then you can also pick up more opportunities as they get requests sent in from maybe different events, or this semester is a lot of different like virtual calls, panels, whatever it might be. So we can pick up more hours, but then we do have that minimum of every third, I think it's every 3 weeks, we have a tour that we give. And then you can have other jobs. I have like 3 other jobs, but yeah, definitely an opportunity to have more jobs and roles on campus. Like we talked about extracurriculars, but definitely time to have different jobs. I have one with the YMCA, and then as a waitress. So definitely opportunities to still have other jobs. This doesn't even feel like a job to me, so I don't even know. All right.
Yeah, just like Taylor shared, we do have a minimum hours that we have to do. So we do each have like our set date and time when we are providing tours. However, those are all based on your schedule that you provide. So like every semester, um, like we would send out information to the director, which is Mary and Erica, to let them know like these are the days and times that we can do tours, and then they would fix everybody's schedule around. And then you should know that the whole semester, like you have a schedule a whole semester when you will be doing tours, and what times. um and for me, like personally, I do have another part-time job. I work with autistic children. And if you consider being a mom another job, that's my other full-time job.
Just like Taylor and you're both said, because we get our, or we give them our schedules, they're not going to schedule us for tours that don't work with our schedule. So right off the bat, being an ambassador is pretty flexible with your schedule. And as Taylor pointed out, we do get requests normally once a week with extra, like whether that's like an event or extra tours or whatever it may be. You can say yes to as many of those events as possible if you want to. If you can't work them, nobody's gonna be mad at you for that, because obviously everybody has their own schedule. I think it probably shakes out to, because last month was probably, the last full month that we have. I probably worked maybe like 4 events, maybe three or four events for the student ambassadors because of my regular tour schedule, and if I added an extra something, plus my other job. So if you want to have another job, you have the flexibility to have the other job, essentially, with this student ambassador position.
Can you all describe the Student Ambassador Program using one word?
How I would describe is like representative. And the reason why I said representative, because a lot of the time when we do go do all these tasks, so like events and like welcome tours like that, those are all taking place as us representatives and representing the college. We are the face of the college, where we are to make a positive impact on others and future students.
I would say collaborative would be the word that I think of. Student ambassador, as our role as student ambassadors, as you just said, is to be the faces of the university, and that comes with talking to so many different kinds of people, whether that's incoming freshmen, current students, alumni, professional staff, sometimes the chancellor. We're working with all of these people from all different walks of life so that we can make this university the best place it can be, and really help advertise it and make it better and better every year, because the more comfortable the students feel, the better it's going to get. So we have to collaborate with everybody to make that happen.
I think off of that, Faith, I would say, I would say community. You're definitely working with so many communities, whether it's our little A-team community, the campus community, the community of just prospective students on your tour, your little Red 3 orientation group community, just lots of different groups that you're working within to make this experience for the students that you're working with as best as it can be. So
We're going to use the word phantasmic. Has everyone known the Disney fireworks show at Hollywood Studios? Yes, okay, we're getting some nods. So phantasmic. Now here's the reason why. Because in the show, if you can recall, it tells a story. And what we do as ambassadors is we tell the story of Green Bay and how and why everything is, well, phantasmic here. Now, it's not a big spectacle show with fireworks and fancy stage productions and things, but it's a word to describe of the show that we put on to make you to come on in here.
All right. Do you have to work during the week or can you work just weekends?
That is a great question. We'll answer that one over here. So usually when tours will fall Monday through Friday. There are some weekend events that'll happen, but most of the work done is Monday through Friday. And then some things will trickle in between for request events or something else, panels or whatever. So mostly during the week, a few weekends.
How has the position changed due to COVID-19?
Well, this year, as some of our freshmen know, we did welcome and orientation completely online for the most part. It was different to try to make connections with students that way. You're not getting that face-to-face interaction. And especially with COVID-19, I know a lot of students who are expressing that their mental health has really gone down, and it's hard to get excited about something when you feel like there is no excitement. But I'm really proud of the team, and for those students who showed up, because they really tried their best, and they really made it work. Um, I saw a lot of attendance at things, more than I was expecting. At some points, as a student ambassador, you really like, yes, our personalities, you turn it on, as we say in the theater world. You turn it on to make sure that you have that face on and you're bright and shiny and new all the time. But we, especially for welcome, really had to throw that through the screen. We had to turn on and be that exciting, and really try to hype everybody up, even if we're not in the same room, because I don't know if anybody else has felt this, but energy gets passed around people. And sometimes it's hard to pass that energy through a screen rather than all being in the same room. So that was a little difficult, but the team, I think, really did a good job, circumstances being what they are.
If I can elaborate off of that. So Faith and Taylor come from the world of pre-COVID. You and I are new to the program just this year here. And so we kind of came in with COVID hitting us full force. So that it changed a lot of things that they're used to, and then stuff that we had to adapt to. So all of our training was online over the course of spring, which was different. And then we also had throughout the summer with R&R, it's now called GB Welcome. But that was different because that was all virtual. That used to be in person. And then orientation went virtual and some in person. So it was an adjustment. For tours, some things are excluded for the time being. And so then you got to fill up extra time with that. But it comes along with the role of life, where you got to be adaptable to everything. But that's kind of how things have changed from the eye of someone new.
But yeah, as Andy said, I was an ambassador previously, but pre-COVID, but BC. But it's definitely a lot different now. I'm still so grateful that we have like opportunities like this to talk to you guys, even if it is virtual. And we still get to do our tours, which is really nice. But I'm not gonna lie, like when GB orientation was switched virtually, my heart did break a little bit. And that was probably like when everything was like transitioning, and then we found that out. It was probably like my last straw. I was like, oh my God, like I cannot, they took away GB orientation. Like, how could it do that? But it's definitely sad. I think everyone knows that obviously we're in a pandemic, everything sucks about it, but I'm still super grateful for all the chances that we do have to still see the team. Like, we even just had like a little holiday like 2 at a time party where we did a gift exchange and everything, so it was fun to still see some people virtually. And then we had like our virtual big team meeting with all like 40 or so of us, so we still get to see each other even on a monthly basis. We have virtual meetings, and I like live for those Sunday nights when we get to see all 40 of us on a screen. But so we still do have chances to do that and see each other even once in a while, so I just live for those moments. So
What other opportunities have come from joining this program?
so again, BC, we tried to do like little groups that we call them gaggles, because gaggles are groups of geese. And we had like, I forgot what they all were, maybe someone can help me, but I was in the community engagement gaggle, and then I think we had like a wellness gaggle, and was one a social gaggle. Okay. And they were like, just if you wanted to sign up for it as an ambassador, you could just do it just for fun. And then each group worked on that part of the ambassador team. So things to have like different social events, different just things for our wellness, and then ways that we can get involved with the community. So we had that little extra group just for something fun and to get the ambassador team more involved with each other and with the community, and just doing more fun things as a team. And then also, I think, I don't know if this came through the ambassador team, but I think Adam suggested me for it, but I was again before COVID, I was able to serve on the like vice chancellor advisory council, and that was really awesome. We was just a bunch of like group leaders on campus, where we just talked about like arising things on campus with the vice chancellor. I don't know if they still do that, but it was a fun opportunity that came out of this opportunity. So definitely just plenty of opportunities to build off of this one really awesome opportunity just throughout your time here on campus. And yeah.
I have seen, especially like in the position in my college career where I am now, I've really seen the ambassador, like the ambassador position that I have, translate to possible jobs in the future. Um, I became a camp counselor because of my ambassador position. Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong. I recognize you from camps. Um, you were great. But they were like, oh, you're a student ambassador, so you're pretty social. That's great. You can have an interview. And I was like, okay. I just applied to be a substitute teacher at my school district back home, because they were like, oh, a student ambassador, so you've worked with students before. It's kind of an educational position, you know. And I was like, I'm not an education major, but in times of COVID, they're looking for people that can really step up and help out. But they were like, oh, a student ambassador, cool. Like, yeah, here's the here's more about the application, and maybe we'll set up an interview like next week. And I was like, so it's helping me transition into being like an adult, you know, like I'm getting my big girl job, which is super important. But more important, well, not more importantly, but more importantly, I've gained lifelong friends from this position as well. And I'm really excited about it. I've also received like awards and things because of this. This position is great because you get friends and you get to be an adultier adult. So.
I think for me, the opportunities that I got to see among myself was, you know, um, definitely voicing up, my thoughts and opinions. I remember, connecting with a staff from Student Life about, what we could, what changes could we make in the student life to get students more engaged in student life. How can we get them to stop in our office more often? Um, and so I thought that was just a great opportunity because, it was, as a student, we constantly question ourselves, like, does our voice really matter? And you'd be surprised by how much your voice does really matter to the college. So being a student ambassador helps you with that too, because you get to build network and meet these leaders around the campus and share them, what you would like to see happen at the college and what kind of changes, or if there's an improvement you want to happen. And it's just nice to build that collaboration with each other.
All right, we do have time for one more question. So does anybody have a question that they would like to ask the panel? No, otherwise we can move on to one of our questions. So what is the biggest challenge of being a student ambassador, and what has been the biggest award?
For me, one of the biggest challenge of being a student ambassador is definitely being shy around people who that I not familiar with the most. Um, I, as I shared before, earlier, is with the session that I transferred from NGCC, so I was very shy to with a lot of people. I wasn't sure how would I perceive myself, but um, once we really got to see each other in person during the welcome orientation, getting to know how welcoming everybody is on campus, it makes that was like very rewarding for me, because I remember being so nervous. During my first semester, being like, I don't know anybody from you know UWGB who is gonna help me when I have questions. But once I got to the Student Ambassador Program and getting to know every ambassador, the directors along with Adam, I'm just like, I just feel like right at home, like. And first of all, I was also afraid of being, feeling the black sheep, because of me also being an older student and also a parent. But once I really talked to everybody, there's just like, no, oh my gosh, like, you're just one of us. Like, everybody here is a student. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you're a mom, if you're, we're all the same. So that made me feel so welcome. And it's like I said, it's definitely a big accomplishment for me, because it allowed me to be myself and allow me to do my best effort, being a student ambassador.
I'll go. I think the hardest thing about being a student ambassador for me was feeling like I fit in with the group. I mean, I came in at a weird time, one. Um, so people had already kind of, like, in some ways formed friendships, and Even though everybody was super nice to me, I still kind of felt like, you know, the new kid on the block. And also, part of it was just kind of my own internal wall that I needed to jump. Like in my mind, when I came in freshman year, the ambassadors were like the cool kids. Like they're the popular kids that sit at the coolest table in the cafeteria. And I was like, oh my God, like if I look at them, they'll burn my eye sockets. They're so pretty. Like it was terrifying to try to talk to these new kids or talk to these popular kids, because I was never a popular kid. And I just needed to realize that, like, I mean, like, yes, I'm awkward. I'm an awkward human being, but nobody cares about that. Everybody likes me for who I am on the team. And they love me regardless. And once I got over that hurdle, oh my God, it was so much easier. Like a whole weight was lifted off my shoulders. And to go along with that, the best part about being a student ambassador is I had friends. I had friends out, like, don't get me wrong, I love the theater community. I love what I do. It's my passion. I wouldn't change it for the world. But just like everybody else needs something that to, you know, step away from their job. This was, even though this is a job, this was my step away from my job. This was my breather, even though it's a job. Like, this was my breath of fresh air. This allowed me to really get involved with other people in the university, because sometimes theater is all consuming, which is awesome, but also you kind of feel like you're stuck in a little box, and I don't want to be in a little box. I have so many friends from so many different walks of life and with so many different interests and stories, and it was so nice to have people that I could just like relax with, and who had the same passion as I did about this university, and they get like, it was friendship, and friendship is like the cutest thing on the face of the planet. So it was great.
I got one if y'all don't mind. So the hardest part of being an ambassador happened, well, during orientation. That's what it's called. Connecting with because you're all given a color group, you know, I'll remember that. And in this particular case, it was hard to connect with them. And so with that, there really wasn't much of a connection between me and them. And you know, you look at everyone else, and everyone else has said, oh yeah, you know, so and so ahead, these people show up, you know, ahead, these people, yeah, you get the connection with the freshmen. And that, it was a struggle not to have that this year, because everyone else had that, and you're like, I'm doing something wrong. But then come to find out, you know, there's a lot of people who are in the same boat. But that was a struggle. But then the thing that's a great thing about being an ambassador is going back to those tours. You know, you're telling the story, pulling the phantasmic card, and showing them why this is a great place to be, you know, why fireworks should be popping out of the library at 10 o'clock in the evening. And that's really the rewarding thing. And yeah, you hear conversations of, oh yeah, so and so other university isn't doing this, or this is nice, you know, yada yada yada. Now that's really the rewarding thing, that, you know, all right, something's going right here, and then you're a part of that something that's going right.
Yeah, and just to quick, I'll make mine short and sweet, but just to bounce off of that, definitely I would agree with Andy. Probably one of the most challenging things was this past welcome that we had, just being virtual. It was really difficult to make those connections, but honestly, the reward was just seeing the connections that we were able to make, even how like far and fair in between they might have been. But especially for this class, just a lot of them, most of them, their senior year was just cut off, and now obviously you guys know now you're going into college as a new freshman, and this isn't what college even is really. It's not the same experience that we might have had as we were going into college, but just doing our best to make you guys feel comfortable and just happy and excited about college was just the reward in the end. So it was a great challenge, but the reward was just seeing like, oh, I get to see some of my orientation group and they run up to me on the sidewalk and they're super excited to see me. That was just like filled my heart, and just even simply like saying hi and that they still recognize me as a human was just really exciting. So I would say just the connections that you are able to make regardless pandemic or not is just the true reward in the ambassador experience. So
Well, our time is pretty much up here, so I just want to take a moment to thank you guys for joining us tonight and letting us answer your questions. It was great to get to see your bright and shining faces. We can't wait to see your applications come through and get to interview you guys. But we just hope you guys know that if you have any other questions come up, you're more than welcome to reach out to anybody on this call and any ambassador for that matter. So thank you so much, guys.
Ambassadors, if you are willing to, if you could drop your UWGB email in the chat too, so they can write it down if they have any questions that they would like to contact you with, that'd be great. Like Erica said, thank you all for joining us. We hope you had a great time. It was great seeing all your smiley faces and seeing your interest in the University Student Ambassador Program. And thank you panelists for being here to answer all of their questions. We hope you have a great rest of your night and good luck on finals.